What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. It's Monday. We back at it for another week, and we got some interesting stuff to talk about today, guys. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button, smack it, lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we can get the subscribers up and the message out. Make sure you do that now. ASAP, you still got time. Topics to be covered. Today, we're going to get into a little bit of, you see the title, the Grammys a little bit briefly, and then we're going to talk about this thing, Steroid Olympics. I thought it was like a fake thing, but there's actually something going on when it comes to Steroid Olympics. And there's a push for this, and I want to get into that because what? Why? And when. But it's a thing. So we're going to get into that. And maybe some other stuff. As well as your super chats. I am going to get to your super chats as well. I missed some of them last week. I'm going to get to those as well. So stay tuned. Remember, it is a talk show, so you can call in at 888-775-3773. And we can talk about today's show, last week's show, whatever you want to talk about, we can get into it. We can argue, we can fight, we can disagree, we can agree, we can fellowship, all in the name of Jesus. I'm here for it. So you can do that. For whatever reason, if you cannot call in, but you have some question or comments, you can send a super chat, as you guys know, by hitting the super chat button there in the chat box, or by going directly to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description, and there you could donate a donut. Not a real donut, but a donation in the form of donut. And there I'll be able to read your question or comments live on air. And also, you'll be supporting the show, and that's appreciated. So you can do that. Carver with the super chat out the gate already. Thank you, Carver. I appreciate it. Says, hey, Joel, what's the deal with the Grammys? We're going to get into it right now a little bit. A little bit stuff going on with the Grammys because it's interesting because I never watch these things. And just because I'm not interested like I once was, but for two is that they're just weird. They just be getting weird sometimes. And they be like pushing weird stuff and like there's an agenda and all these things, right? And also the Grammys oftentimes is rigged. You know what I mean? And I was watching a little bit yesterday, the Grammys, and I watched like the first like 20 minutes or so. And I seen like a couple people perform, like Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, and Miley Cyrus. I seen them. Now, mind you, as I'm watching, I think it was, so Olivia Rodrigo performed first, I think. I don't know what order. But I'm watching her, and she actually has some good songs. Like, she actually has some pretty decent, like upbeat, rock, fun type of songs. They're actually pretty good. Like, legitly good songs. But her performance was like so boring. Like, she has rock music. She has this rock music, right? So it's very energetic and up tempo. And she's sitting there like still and singing it like as if it's a ballad, not moving around at all, barely moving her lips. And I'm thinking like, this is rock. Why aren't you like jamming out, rocking out? Like that's what the people want to see. They want the energy, right? But she's just out there like, meanwhile, like the music in the background is like drums, guitar, like, and she just like, I'm a knee. I was thinking like, what the, this is boring. So her performance was boring. And then Billie Eilish went up there and sang that, what's that one song? What Was I Made For? Which is not a bad song, right? It's a decent song. What Was I Made For? It's like this slow ballad. And she's like singing in this whisper voice. And it's kind of cute. But like her performance, her brother was on the piano, she was singing it, and she was just up there like singing like, what was I made? And it was boring. Just boring, no life to it. And then after she like did a little smile and everybody like screaming and clapping, and they lying because it was boring. Right? So I'm like, okay, this is not that entertaining. So then Miley Cyrus comes up and sings her song Flowers, right? I can buy myself flowers. You guys know that song. And now she does the exact opposite, right? Everybody else is boring. Now she's singing this boring song Flowers with all kinds of energy. And it's off. I'm like, okay, now she finally bringing energy, but to a song that ain't got none. And she's doing like extra. She's just doing this weird type of performance thing. And then everybody knows it's boring too because she's like, don't act like you, she stops in the middle of the song and she's like, don't act like you guys don't know the words, sing along. You know it's boring when you gotta tell people to sing along. You know what I mean? So that's just the vibe of the Grammys for me. It's like, what are we doing here? And then also what I realized is that over the years is that it's the politics involved, the music politics involved in these things are just so insane. Like people who you think should win, don't win. People who you don't think should win, or whatever, right? It's just all like not real. Nothing's real. And Hassan mentioned there was this one performance that might have been good. I didn't get to see it because I turned it off first 15 minutes. I couldn't handle it. But Hassan watched Travis Scott perform at the end, and Hassan said that was really good. I didn't see it. I guess he was like throwing chairs on stage or something, and it got crazy. I don't know. That's more energy than the other people. So, but I don't know. It's just like disingenuous, especially when you really start to see what's going on. You just like, they're just boring. All this money, you know how many millions go into making that show happen? And like, and even the people who get the awards and who go don't respect it because they don't know if they're deserving of the award or not. So it's just like weird stuff. So I don't try to not watch it because I'm like against the world. It's not like that. It's just actually boring. You know what I mean? There's no life in it. So I just wanted to talk about that. If you guys didn't watch it, you ain't missed nothing. I mean, according to the song, maybe you missed the Travis Scott thing at the end, but you can see that on YouTube. So that's why I don't watch these things. And oh, my last point that I wanted to make, because I was thinking about the people who were performing and why they were so boring, is of course they're not trying and intentionally trying to be boring, right? But I realized that these people, and I don't know this like for sure, but I have a pretty good idea. The reason why these people are so boring is because they have absolute terror up there performing. Like they are so nervous and scared. And it cripples them and they can't actually entertain because they don't know how. They have all this fear. And that's like what I was getting when I was watching some of these people perform, right? There's just no life because fear takes your life away, steals it. And I was just thinking about how when you get to a certain status naturally, like you grow into things and not just like you're plastered into fame, right? But when you grow into these things, your natural energy and your life source and your confidence in what you do grows as well. So when you hit that stage in the right timing, this is how it used to be. back in the day, right? When you hit that confidence and you hit the stage, then you were able to be an entertainer properly. But now these people get one hit song and the world makes them this popular musician, and they're not even really properly prepared internally to handle all these things. So they're not even really doing what we're wishing for them to do because they're scared. So they're cutting all these corners and getting to this place that's like undeserved, right? Too soon. And that's the world. So these people are boring, not because they're just like born, they want to be born. It's that they're afraid, crippled by fear, but yet rich, money, house, cars. Some of them are probably not even that rich because, you know, the labels, as we all know, kind of, you know, they get you. But they got all that stuff that we want, but up there, scared as I don't know what. So, cutting corners is the point that's going to lead me into my next thing. 888-775-3773. You can call in and we can talk and chat about whatever you want to get into. So there's this guy. How's it going, chat? Hassan Show. Oh my God. EJ Trill says, Joel, I love you. I love you back, EJ. Appreciate it. I'm just looking at the chat a little bit here, see what you guys are talking about. Username says, as if it wasn't clear enough. A Grammys with no Kanye or blah, blah, blah ain't no Grammys. Jay-Z actually hopped up there and did like a Kanye type of move. He said, what did he say? He did like a Kanye thing and said, some people on the list weren't. He said, some of you guys were deserving of this Grammys and didn't get it, but some of you guys weren't deserving of a Grammy and were on this list. Like made like a controversial comment. And that was like a Kanye thing to do. So they had the Grammys like, look, we need somebody to be, we need a Kanye somewhere. Jay-Z, go up there and say this. So that was the most controversy probably of the whole night. Okay, anyway. So there's this guy by the name of Peter Thiel. Okay? Because we're going to get into this whole steroid Olympics. It makes no sense. But I want to like give you guys my perspective on it. Username says Jay-Z is a corny Kanye. I agree. There's this guy named Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is a German-American billionaire, entrepreneur, and venture capitalist and political activist. He's a co-founder of PayPal, Palantir Technologies, and the Founders Fund, and he was the first outside investor in Facebook. As of June 2023, Thiel has an estimated net worth of $9.7 billion and was ranked 213th on the Bloomberg's Billionaire Index. I don't really trust the net worth things because every artist or every person that I've seen on YouTube that talks about net worth, they always say that Wikipedia gets it wrong. So he may have probably more than 9 billion. But anyway, nonetheless, he's a billionaire. And this guy, just to give you a little more context, he endorsed, look, he looks kind of tough there, right? He looks like a tough guy, right? And you kind of would think he is because just by the way he looks. And then also he endorsed Trump. He backed Trump. I have a photo of it here. And during Trump's election, when Trump was in office, he backed Trump and said he was for him and he supported him, right? Not financially. He makes that clear. Well, at least the article made it clear, right? The Hill. But not financially, but he backed him with his support. Now, obviously, you can see right here they have some type of rapport. They're holding hands. But then he switched up. The man then switched up in the middle of Trump's first term. Or first and only term, right? He switched up and, like, pulled back his support and disavowed him and, like, different articles, according to the articles, The Hill, right? He disavowed him and said, like, I had an expectation that I wanted him to meet and he didn't meet it. And so he no longer has my support type of thing, right? But he goes on to say that I'm not a Trump hater, like a Trump basher, but I'm not a supporter anymore, basically what he said. So, beta male. He switched up. But I say all that things, I make those points to make this point. Because giving you that context is now going to make sense why he would do something so crazy like this that I'm about to tell you. Right? He's part of the very problem with society. And this is like a rich man. Very rich man, white. And he's part of the very problem with society. I can guarantee you he does. If this is true, right? According to these articles, I'm going based off these articles. If this is true, he is this way in many aspects of his life. But there's this article. I got this off of Instagram from Wealth. And this man, Peter Thiel, wants to invest in steroid Olympics. And the steroid Olympics won't test for drugs. So what he wants to do is, this is from Wealth on Instagram. So you can put up the writing here. This is from Wealth on Instagram. Billionaire Peter Thiel has invested in the Enhanced Games. So he already invested. A controversial sport event that encourages open use of performance-enhancing drugs, aiming to redefine competitive sports by allowing what is traditionally considered doping. This initiative has sparked a debate facing criticism from various sports and health authorities for potential risk, while its organizers defend it as a celebration of scientific innovation and a challenge to the current sports ethics framework. The Enhanced Games, positioned as an alternative to traditional Olympics, plans to not only permit but also regulate the use of such substances, promising a safer environment for athletes to compete under supervision. What a freaking mess. Can I say freaking? What a mess. You can go back to me. So basically what he's saying is that we're going to make a Olympics that is 10 times more entertaining than your traditional Olympics. And we're going to make it so the athletes can safely, this is the trick words, the deceptive words, safely do steroids so you can be entertained, but also so the athletes can, like, take their skill set to a higher level. That is the most evil thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This is how we weaken society, though. This is how society becomes weakened, because we take the shortcuts and we don't do anything real anymore, right? We don't do anything that takes a little bit longer, may not be as profitable, but will get the views. So my problem is this, because a lot of people might be like, well, what's so bad about it? Well, it's evident, it's clear that that's insane. But the problem is, this is why like society has gotten to where it has, because not only just accepting the shortcuts, but what we're doing is we're starting to trust outside sources, right? Hear me out. We're starting to trust outside sources. So what do the women do instead of working out? What do they do? Liposuction, breast enhancements, right? They do these things instead of going to the source, right? Taking a little bit longer, working a little bit harder. They take the shortcut. They trust the outside source, right? What do a lot of people, and this one is going to hit a little bit closer to home, right? What do people do when they want energy? What do we do when we want energy? We go get coffee. We go get protein-based chocolate bars that have energy in them. We go get Jack 3D. We go get, what's the other thing that they use before they work out? Pre-workout. They do all these things, right? Why? Because they want the energy. But, and here and there, if you want to do it here and there, that's fine. But the point is this. When you get used to this and you enjoy this type of energy, you stop searching within why you don't have energy in the first place. You stop searching. You stop seeking. And you stop trying to figure out how to get the right energy. So when that happens, which is what Satan wants, then you rely on these outside sources, when in reality, we would figure out a way to have natural energy. We will figure out a way to unlock the spirit within that has energy that far more greater, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times greater than any type of energy enhancement. And the great thing about the spirit is there ain't no crash. You can have energy, but at the same time take a nap. But you hop on them a Monster energy drink or that caffeine, you feeling good till about 2, 3 o'clock. Then you got a migraine. Or now you're feeling weird, achy. Now you want a donut. Like, you can't trick God. We may be able to deceive ourselves for a little while, and we all do it. We're all guilty of it, but the point is we just got to start being honest about it. Be real about it. And I'm not saying don't do it, right? If you want to do it, obviously that's why you're doing it, and you want to like feel guilty about it, but at least do it with honesty. Drink the coffee if you're going to drink it, but drink it with honesty. Not denial, not excuse, like, well, I kind of need it because I only get 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what I mean? Like, be real about it at least if you're going to do it. Keep doing it if you want, but be real about it. Know what you're doing and know why you're doing it. At least. Because what Satan wants us to do is accept the evil as good. That's what he wants. So I'm going to give you guys a quick example, and then I'm going to get to some super chats and maybe some calls. You guys can call in. They got some lines open, 888-775-3773. There are some lines open, and I want to know what you guys think about this Steroid Olympics, right? Or maybe your take on the Grammys or whatever. But I want to give you guys a quick example, is that growing up, I played sports my whole life. So I played baseball and football since I was like 4 and 7. And I played all the way till high school. And when I was growing up, I was always kind of fast and I can catch really good. So I was a receiver. And back then, well, even now, but even then when I was younger, they had like receiver gloves, right? And for those who don't know what receiver gloves are, is that they're gloves that you can buy like at like sports, Dick's Sporting Goods and stuff like that, right? The sports stores. And what they do is they have this like grip on them that makes you catch the ball easier, right? And they're very popular. Everybody uses them in the NFL. I'd say about probably like 99% of the athletes use them in the NFL. And what it does is that it helps you catch the ball better, right? For whatever reason, I wasn't trying to be any kind of way. I wasn't trying to like be better than nobody else. I'm a little kid, right? But something always felt wrong about it to me, right? And I used to always say this. I always felt like I was cheating by using them. And the reason why is because I always wanted to be able to be proud of doing it with my hands, right? Whether that be I have to focus more, whether that be I have to squeeze the ball tighter when it's thrown at me. But I wanted to be proud of it legitimately, right? So I never wore the gloves. And people used to make fun of me like, just wear the gloves. It's not that deep. Why you gotta, and it's not that deep. But I just couldn't do it. So when I watch the NFL now, and I'm using this as a metaphor, so follow along. When I watch these stuff now, I see all these NFL players and they win all these Heisman trophies and all that stuff. It's like, or like these artists who make these great albums and songs, but they were on drugs when they did it. It's like, how could we be proud at the end of the day? How could we, with our chest out, talk the talk like we see everybody do, boast and brag, arrogance on cloud 9, but yet knowing you took the shortcut? How are we openly doing that? In all areas of life. Taking a shortcut. And I was like, wow. And I always think about that. I'm like, these NFL players got these gloves and they got money. So who knows like the type of grip they got on these gloves, right? And then they catching it with one hand and then they're like proud. Catch the ball with one hand, which is a skill to do, right? It's hard to do. But let me see you do it without a glove, without glue. It's glue. It's literally glue. And you proud of it. But there's no like, that's what I'm saying. That's how we're weakening society, because now this man with this steroid Olympics, it's like, okay, so now these people are going to, for the sake of entertainment, now these people are going to be on, 30 backflips, right? And we're gonna be like, oh, that's so cool, right? We're gonna be entertained. But like the spirit and the source is gonna be overdone. Dunzo. Gone. Bye. The spirit is gonna be gone. No one's gonna go within. No one's gonna look within. No one's gonna have the light of God. No one's gonna reflect God. We're not gonna see true Christianity. We're not gonna see what Jesus is supposed to look like. We're not going to see the way back to God. We're not going to have nothing because we keep going further and further away. And Cat Williams might be the only real one left. I don't agree with everything that he says and does, but he keeps it real. That's what I love about Cat Williams, that he keeps it real. And I want to show you guys, I'm going to see if I can do it. I'm gonna show you guys. Cat Williams had an interview with Shannon Sharp, which is a former football player, and Cat Williams is a comedian, a current comedian, and he did an interview with Shannon Sharp, and he talks about the what would you call it? He just talks about like you just being real about the situation and about like how he sees comedians and how they don't do nothing. They their receipts don't show like it doesn't like grant them to talk the way they talk, but yet they still have this arrogance and ego attached to their life, but nothing to back it up. So Cat Williams just talks about, he just exposes that. It's like, you guys ain't done nothing. So how are you gonna talk about being a king, but you ain't put the work in? So it kind of makes my point, and I want to play this. I'm gonna try to do it on my own without Hassan here. Let me see if I can do it. Let's try it. Here we go. This is Cat Williams.
I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar. There's nobody like me in the business.
Faison just called it straight.
Faison said that getting a Netflix special is easy. I have 12 specials. Guess how many Faison got? 0. So why is he allowed to have conversations about real stand-up people? We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all. As a journalist. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I don't harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted.
If y'all don't think that that's deep, I don't even know what to say. He said you cannot let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. This is the world. This is the world to the T. The world to the T. Talking all that. Chest out. But you ain't the real deal until the real deal walks in the room. That's why people in general, especially Christians, gotta be able to do it the right way. If it takes longer, if it sucks, if it's whatever. And you do that by being honest. And what I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make is we got to start being honest and we got to start like really working on ourselves properly. And stop taking these shortcuts because we don't think that they're a big deal, but you're cheating yourself. And one cheat turns to 2 cheats, 3 cheats. And next thing you know, you are up here lying. Just think about that. Just think about this. Imagine you be a star athlete and then another athlete on your team, same position, hops on steroids, and you guys get the same amount of touchdowns, the same amount of yards, and you guys both get an award for it. And then he walks up and says he's better than you. That's how we operate in the world. That's what we do. And it's like, you know what I mean? You're lying, and you know you're lying. So we got to stop lying, is my point. Cat Williams said it. Don't let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. And he's right. And that's why Cat Williams can sit up there and be a comedian. And when he goes on interviews, he can be funny, but he can also get real with you. When was the last time you seen a comedian, besides like a couple of them, right, that will go up on an interview and when they talk real stuff, you believe them? It's rare that I see that. They always kind of hop on there and they're kind of like funny and goofy and like that's what they're known for, just being funny and goofy. They don't get real with you. It's because they're not grounded. Anyway. And then Frederick up in here talking some mess. I want to get to Frederick's comment. Frederick says, there's good pride and stubborn pride. You got to learn to distinguish between the two. What? Frederick, why are you lying to the people like that? Call in and explain yourself. Because you're sounding crazy. Joel is allergic to telephone calls. Not true. Disavow. All lies. Get behind me, Satan. I know what you mean, but that's how it goes, and you are black. What? Okay, let me get to some calls. I think Frederick is calling in, but hold on, Frederick. Let me get to... there's a couple lines still open here, guys. I'm going to get to some calls right here, and I'm going to get to some super chats. So, you can call in 888-775-3773. Let me get to Gray really quick. First-time caller. Oh, not first-time caller. This is my friend Gray. Welcome to the show. You're on air.
What's up, Joe? How you doing?
How's it going, Gray?
It's going good, bro. It's just raining over here in LA. It's crazy.
Yes, sir. It's been crazy.
I'm blessed. It's crazy today and last night, but no. So I'm calling because I believe everybody cheats, and no one will ever know about it. Like in boxing, it's very well known that everybody is on something. And I don't know if you are aware, but there was this controversy surrounding LeBron and steroids.
Oh.
I don't know if you know about that.
No, I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, there's a big controversy of the days in Miami when he was playing in Miami that, there was a name associated with him that was picking up this type of steroid. And some person got busted and threw some people under the bus about it. But, So, yeah, I think, honestly, when it comes to competition, bro, I honestly believe, like, there is no type of cheating. Like you're going to win no matter what. Like, if in boxing, if you get this happened in boxing, if somebody gets hurt to the body during, like, practice and that spills out to the public, if that person gets that knowledge, is that cheating? Like, if your opponent knows that, hey, this guy got hurt during training and his rib is not so well. So if I hit him in the rib, is that cheating, you know?
Well, that's a good point. I think that it also depends on how that information was gathered. How do they find that stuff out? If you go about it trying to figure out that kind of stuff, I think that that's like silly. Cause it is almost like, well, now I'm finding his weak points, so I'm gonna capitalize off of it. I think that is kind of a form of, why don't you just go out there and play your game? You could study tape. Like athletes and boxers, they study tape to know like what their other boxers are good and not good at, right? But to like try to figure out an injury, I think that's kind of, in my opinion, pushing it.
Yeah. No, that's an example of a big fight that happened last year. Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. And the sparring partner for Ryan Garcia leaked out to Tank's camp that he had hurt him to the body, and sure enough, that the fight night comes around, he gets hit to the rib, and it's over, you know.
Yeah, and I can see how people are they are gonna capitalize off of that. But my mind, to be honest, and maybe that's why I ain't a boxer, my mind would be like, man, I don't want to win that way. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to knock you out because I'm trying to knock you out, not because I hit your broken rib. You know what I mean?
No, so there's a famous boxing story, a guy named Margarito and another guy named Miguel Cotto.
Yeah.
And this guy, he wrapped his hand wraps in like some type of plaster and like brutalized this guy, Cotto, and then he went up against another guy, and they were checking his gloves before the fight, and they saw like a big piece of rock fall out of it. So they labeled him a cheater, and the guy got his revenge on the rematch, and he ended up kicking his ass. But it's crazy because then the guy who beat him, he was on steroids. A guy named Shane Mosley.
Oh man.
So it's like the steroid guy beat the guy with the hand wraps in plaster. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody's cheating.
Yeah, everybody's cheating. And that's what I'm saying. Is like, but that's why we're not seeing like true, real, genuine things. Like, and we don't even know what that looks like. We don't even know what that would even look like. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
no, not anymore. Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. So I don't know. It's just a mess, man. And that's what I'm trying to point out. But thank you, Gray. I got to get to some of these other calls, but thanks for calling, man.
Oh, no problem, Lord. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Let me go to Frederick. Let's see what Frederick got to say about it. Lord have mercy. Frederick, welcome to the show. You're on air.
Good morning, Joel. How's it going?
Going well, man. How are you?
All right. Now, I was talking about, like,
Put his volume up.
the good pride and the stubborn pride. You know how them older men that was like, I'll never go to a cell phone, or I'm fixed in my ways, or I won't learn the internet.
Right.
It'll keep you behind. That's the stubborn pride.
Yes, sir.
See, because if you didn't wear the gloves, like you were set in your ways and didn't like change or not open to change, it's gonna handicap you.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So therefore, that's not cheating. It's just evolving. So, like you were talking about the Olympics, it could push some to have pride in staying natural and race against those steroided Olympics, and then we'll evolve as natural human beings, as the ones that want to be natural, to still compete with the. If they want to waste their life, we can't. Keep people off drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's people out there that wants to do it, that compete like that.
I agree, and I don't think you should ban them.
He just wants to give people like an opportunity to be themselves if they want to. If they letting people show breasts on their chest, why can't you just like compete or have a league of people that want to compete on some manly? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But to each its own is what I'm saying. Don't pick sides. And pride is not ego when you're open for change. Once you're setting goals and accomplishing goals, it lets you know that your mind is open than what's more in your circumference or circle of knowledge. There's more outside of my circle to learn than it is that I know about, because that's the only thing.
I agree with what you're saying, but I don't see how do you define that as pride? Like, I don't see that as pride. What did you mean by there's good pride?
Good pride is like accomplishing the goal after you open the change. Then it'd be like, okay, you're going to register success. Registering success, you're going to have a feeling of, okay, this can be done.
Right.
You're going to be like, I can show somebody else how to do this. Each one teach one.
Yeah.
I know the message. I can do the homework on my own and show the work.
Okay. I see that. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that there is like a good sense of pride if we're gonna call it pride, but in the sense of like, you know that you put the work in, or you know that you took the right steps to do the right thing to get to the reward. Let's just say. So there's a sense of pride.
I took the risk. I deserve the reward, because most of the rewards are going to come from the risk, and the risk of who outtrains who. I was explaining how hard work outperforms talent when talent don't work hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Trump's a millionaire. Of course, he was born that. But why praise him as being a billionaire if he's already rich when he started the company? You know what I'm saying? That's almost, people could say, no, that's not the same. Freddie, you a hater. Get off the phone.
Well, that's kind of tough, though. That's kind of tough to compare, because you still have to have a certain amount of work ethic in order to continue your success. So Trump is, maybe he had a little help.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe he had a little bit of help in the beginning to where, or really just a understanding, because his father was who his father was. But in order for Trump to be who Trump is, Trump wasn't just riding off of money. He had to really like know what work ethic was. He had to know what it meant to be grounded and stand firm and speak the way he speaks. So I wouldn't I wouldn't say he's all talent. I definitely think he earned his way. Or he wouldn't be able to speak the way he was.
A few times. You know, he went bankrupt a few times.
You know, he wasn't what?
He went bankrupt a few times.
Right, but
for bankruptcy.
That's even better.
That's not a sign.
That's even better though, because now that's even more proof that he overcame that twice, and he made money again. He went bankrupt, and then he built himself up again, bankrupt again. Built himself. Like that's a definition of a man to me. But I agree with what you're saying about pride for sure.
Yeah. Because what if you would have tried the gloves on and then started making the catch, your stats went up, and people started looking at you? You could have been in a different place today.
Right. So you're saying that? You're saying that Trump? You think Trump had the gloves on in the beginning?
Yeah, I'm saying he might have had the gloves.
Oh, okay, interesting. I don't think so, but I respect.
I don't know.
Yeah, I respect
Some people ain't born with gloves. They got to go buy their gloves and get it out the mud to get them gloves. So when you born with some sticky professional gloves, it's easy to catch that ball. I'm just saying. Fair
enough, Roger. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling me and clearing it up.
All right, Joel. Take it easy.
All right, man. Hector out of New Mexico. Hector, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
How's it going, Hector?
What's up, Joel?
As well.
So on the Cat Williams thing,
yes,
okay, so my question to you is, would you ever play a role in the movie of a inferior black man?
A role in a movie of an inferior black man? Like, give me an example. What?
Like a weak, naggy black man who almost got aped.
What movie is this? Are you referring to?
Friday After Next.
Oh. So like him playing Money Mike?
Yep.
Okay. It would depend. It would depend on like what the story, the full picture of the story leads to. So what what's the point of it? That would depend on that. Would I play a Catwheel? Would I play Money Mike? I don't know if I would fit it. I don't know if I would be able to do it that way. But I will say that according to Cat Williams, we don't know if this is true, but according to him, there was supposed to be a rape scene in the bathroom. Even though that bathroom scene was probably more than what I would do, right, with the whole stuff that he did. But he said that there was a rape scene in the bathroom that was supposed to be there, and his morals couldn't he couldn't allow that to happen, or he wasn't okay with it. So he made a comment to try to change that part of the scene, and I guess according to him, he was successful. But yeah, I think that there's a scale to what people will do and won't do, and maybe you and I wouldn't play that role at all. But to him, I guess he's seen it as okay. But what point were you trying to make about it?
So, because obviously, it's following. I mean, it's always going to follow him around now. And I like Cat Williams. I think he's a great comedian, funny guy.
Yeah.
But ever since I laid eyes upon that scene and him running down the street from a big black man, Terry Crews.
Yeah.
My standing on Cat Williams has changed, and I just can't take him serious.
I just wouldn't. I mean, at the same time, though, Hector, I just wouldn't also make such a hard judgment about him because of that, because it's also just a character. You know what I mean? It's also just like a character that was funny and entertaining to watch, and it didn't really too much. It wasn't too degrading, right? But it wasn't a serious thing. It was a funny movie, and he was actually the antagonist of the movie, so he was like the villain. So to see him run away was just kind of part of the storyline of like, oh, we defeated the bully type of thing. So I don't think it was, to be looked upon as him being that in real life or him being less of a man. I wouldn't judge it too hard.
Okay, so I mean, that's all I want to know because I know you speak good on Cat Williams and he does have a lot of things to say. I mean, good things to say. So
yeah,
but I wasn't calling to be combative with you. Wondering if you well.
Yeah, I don't look at it like. Yeah, and I'll just say this real quick. I don't look at it like I don't look at him as a beta male because of that scene because I don't know him personally. I do like some of the things he says, but there's things that I disagree with. But I don't look at him as less of a man for running away from Terry Crews. But I appreciate it, Hector, for the call. Call me again.
Gotcha. Have a good one.
All right, man. You too. I don't look at that as a big deal. I don't even look at the guys who wearing a dress, like Martin Lawrence, who wear a dress and makeup, and all these people who do that kind of stuff. Tyler Perry, like I was entertained when I watched it. I was laughing, ha ha. It was funny to me. So I don't think it's like as bad as people make it, but it also depends on what they did to get those kind of roles, and there is more to selling the soul than just being entertained by it. So Cat Williams obviously knows more about behind the scenes and what people are willing to do to get those type of roles, and that can be degrading. But to play a character, I don't know. I just don't think it's like that bad. But that's just me. Would I do it? That's a good question. I don't know. Depends how much money they're giving me. I'm playing. But anyway, man, I got to end the show. William, Rick, and the other callers on the line, I'm sorry. But I got to end it because American Anchor Baby's coming in. But call me tomorrow. And if you guys call me tomorrow, no matter what time you call in, I'll make sure to get to you as soon as I can. Because I know you guys are waiting. But American Anchor Baby is coming in. Appreciate you guys for watching another episode of Joel Friday TV. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Who knows what's on the list for topics? But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Follow me across the forward, Joel Friday TV. I just posted a clip of the interview I did with Jake Julius, and it was deep, and it was mainly share that video. We talked about should men chase women, and we have all kinds of different things that I'm going to be posting about that interview. But, man, men need to hear, especially millennials, they need to be hearing that kind of talk. Gen Z, Gen A, ain't nobody need to be chasing women. So share those videos, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, y'all, appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Wait up. Peace.